Hello, John.
Hello, Albert.
And today we're going to talk about pro-life groups. They're funding a new website. I think it's called Gript.ie. So you're going to tell us more about it. Go ahead.
That's right, yes. It only started, as far as I know, last year, and I supported myself financially. The pro and and it was started by the Life Institute, which are based in Gardner Row, and they were very active in the pro-life campaign before the referendum that legalised abortion, that people voted for it, but they were active campaigning against it, and called to an awful lot of, called to houses, and so did the other pro-life groups, called to individual houses and around the country and that, and they were very surprised at the way it the number of people that voted for this abortion. So the Gript is the new TV funded by or started by the Life Institute of Gardner Row in Dublin, and supported by donations from people that support such an item, and they've done plenty of people following it now at the moment, and it was done because of the bias, the liberal bias in mainstream media, and that's RTE. And other medias as well, not just RTE, but the TV3 and the various independent radio stations. They're all singing from the same hymn sheet, which is kind of pro-choice and pro-abortion, if you like. And so the support for the Christian and point of view, there's a pro-life support, and the Life Institute are not being represented. So this was a way to try and get that redressed. And the individual that's for it is John McGuck, and he writes in the Irish Catholic, and he's quite a good writer, John McGuck. And then there's a newscaster lad that does the interviews, and I think his name is McGuinness. He's from the north of Ireland. It could be Donegal, but and he does it. It's good, but one of the things, and of course, it's to have a little subscription, even for a pound for the first month, euro rather, for the first month would be held. Any small donation, so I gave a donation, and I have a monthly donation going to them of a reasonable amount, €10, not a fortune. But one of the questions I think I posed in the previous video, and I'm going to propose it again now. Is there a national consensus for a TV station? And to be supported by philanthropists or people that are actually mightn't necessarily be Catholics as such, but to be pro-life and pro-fairness. There are people that are not necessarily Catholics that have a reasonable attitude and don't like to see monopoly situations or only one view presented. And this is what happens, I'm afraid, in the media in this country. It's considered one of the least free presses in Europe, believe it or not. That we don't get the sort of the other point of view, the same as in the referendums. We didn't get the other point of view discussed in the Parliament or in the media in a proper and a reasonable way. So this is where I'm suggesting that a consensus, it should be possible to do an inquiry about the support of a TV station. That mightn't broadcast, that would take programs from other Christian TV stations. For example, the EWTN, which is the Eternal Word Truth Network, a television station started by Mother Angelica of the sisters, some sisters in in uh, in in, um, in Alabama, and she started it with little or nothing, but donations come in, and now it's the world's biggest Catholic station, Christian station. In the US, it has upwards of 300 million viewers per day. They also have a radio station, and they have some newspapers that they subscribe. The Catholic Register is one, and some other one. So they're also now in every continent, including Africa, that only opened late last year, so that the station in Africa can reflect the concerns of people in Africa. And it's been kind of considered a great success, because there are a lot of Catholics and Christians in Africa that we don't hear much about. So this station now caters for them. We have it in this country, and have an office in Limerick, and a phone number, and an email. And then they have one in Northern Ireland as well. And then they have one in the UK, and they often look for financial support when EWTN has some ads on after programmes. They don't have any ads like what they have in the ordinary media. Their ads are all something to do with programmes, or something to do with a Christian point of view. A little snippet about matters that you mightn't hear about, you won't hear about in the church. So if it was a question that this could be examined, Gript are doing a good job, but it's just it's not really a TV station as such. And I just wonder, would there be support from that? Because I have a feeling there would be. I know if I was a very wealthy individual, that I would support it, a millionaire or something like that. But even without being that, I certainly would support it. And I think that Christian and Jobs Action Party and John Malone now is putting it out, and hope somebody picks it up, to examine the possibility of a TV station to offset the bias in the media, including the state broadcaster RTE, which should never be getting a licence fee in my book, and the various other medias, the like of TV3, which is owned now by Liberty something or another, and it's not Irish owned at all. And so this is something, the independent radio stations, because a lot of them are owned by individuals, they're not owned by separate people, they're owned by a monopoly situation, so you're getting an agenda the whole time. And so, and the same with the newspapers, owned by individuals that are not really pro-life in the sense that we are. So I just put it out there now, and hope that somebody will look for further support for a national TV station that will support and reflect the Catholic ethos, something on the lines of EWTN in the US. And you can also then, because you're unique in Ireland, that don't forget this is the island of saints and scholars, and it's a few saints and scholars I think hopefully knocking about still. I'm not including myself in that now, I haven't got a halo. So this is something very important, that this should be examined, and some kind of I won't say a survey, but support for such a business, and it could have its own studio with staff. I mean, EWTN was started by Mother Angelica with little or nothing, but faith can move mountains, and this is the same thing, on the same principle. And you can then sell your programs to like-minded stations throughout the world, and have an income from that.
Very good. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much, Albert.